see. I look ridiculous. And I know it. It's just one of those days. You know how you have a day and you're like, I'm not going to get anything done today. That was today. So basically what I did was just made a mess. I like tried to take a nap. I did it where I ordered groceries. Does that count as actually doing anything? I didn't cook dinner. My daughter was babysitting. I was so thrilled she was babysitting, so she wasn't going to ask me about dinner. So tonight she gets home and she's like, are we going to have family dinner? I said, yes, we're having pork chops. I don't like pork chops. It's like, well, we'll have chicken wings. I don't like chicken wings. I was like, okay, well, we can have ribs. I don't like ribs. I'm like, you know, there's a theme here. You like to have steak. That's your one dinner you like to have. You've got to start eating more food. Usually they have youth group on Sundays, but tomorrow they have it in the morning. I mean, we look like the darn Waltons. We have so much food in the refrigerator. I told Thomas, I said, I'm starting to do the refrigerator like your mother did. She would just throw things in there and try to shut the door. That's me. I mean, I literally like took a bag of apples and was stuffing it on the shelf. And I was like, I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind. Your daughter got into her first choice college yesterday. Oh, that's exciting. What one is it? I'm in this college group and it's all anonymous people. Like I'm the only person in there that it's like Tales of an Educated Debutante. And people are like, everybody's very vague. I'm like, go ahead and just say what you're saying. Kathy has a new website, MaroneyFineArt.com. No sale today. No, I had told my YouTube members and Facebook subscribers that I was going to have a sale tonight. I was so tired. I just didn't have it in me. Georgia. Oh, I heard Georgia was coming in. Oh, Georgia's about like UNC Chapel Hill. You just never know, do you? Well, yay for her. That's awesome. The real question is, why do you get on my YouTube page? Because now you'll never be allowed on it again. You're dead to me. You watched the Carmen family murders. I'm so glad you just said that because I saw a preview for that and all afternoon I was like, I cannot remember what the show was. How was it? Amos made his own sandwich. I know. Thank goodness he's been on my last nerve today. Amos is 12 and has autism. You don't refrigerate apples. Well, now you tell me. Oh, that's smart. No wonder I don't have room for them. I like a cold apple, though. I feel like it tastes better. Okay, but anyway, the Carmen family. What was it about? What was I saying? I can't even remember. Anyway, he was driving me crazy because all day he's talked about how he's not going to the condo for Thanksgiving. And our family is going to the condo for Thanksgiving. And instead of just like acknowledging this, he's just saying over and over and over and over again how he's not going. So there's that. And he's very, he likes to monopolize my time, like big time. And I just driving me crazy. Nathan Carmen with autism accused of killing his grandfather and mother. Oh yeah. I do not want to watch that. Why does he not want to go? I don't know. You know, you we wrote this book, Autism Out Loud. That's me, Adrienne Wood. And the answer of why does he change his mind about things, it's not in this book. The book is $10 right now on Amazon hardback. I was telling my subscribers and YouTube members that if they wanted to get me a Christmas present, they could order one and give it to their library. What happens if my husband tells him he's going to the condo? Nothing. That doesn't make a lick of difference. I mean, he is going. I told him if he didn't go, he could stay home with our nanny. Well, she's going out of town. This is a softcover book. So I think Australia or New Zealand bought the rights to it. And whenever somebody buys the rights to it, they send you a copy of that country. So I ended up with oh, you're buying one for your police department. I love that. Hold on. Let me see. What country is this? Oh, first Australian paperback edition. Australian copy. So there are these scammers on here, which kind of goes into my topic. So it's not like a real topic. It's kind of late night but there are two things. One, is anybody familiar with this? These are not funny topics. Well, this one really isn't, but it is nuts. Actually, the topics are not related. Free birthing. Do you know what free birthing is? There is a nut job that is in North Carolina that has started the free birthing movement, where you have a baby at home and you have no midwife or doctor or nurse there. You basically have somebody like me. Well, you know what happens? Babies die. That's what happens. It is crazy. There's a very good article in The Guardian that just came out. Is today the 22nd? I guess today. I remember saying to Dr. Bowling, my OBGYN, I was like, well, why don't people? Something he was like, well, you know why babies used to die? Back when people had babies at home. The article is really good, but this cuckoo now I'm following her on Instagram. And evidently, if you write anything negative, she immediately blocks you. Hold on, I'm going to find it for you. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, I was like going down I can't even find her now. Hold on. What's her name? Hold on. Following. It'll be recently following because I just did. Following. Sort by latest. Okay, here it is. Okay, Free Birth Society. And then Matriarch Rising Festival, North Carolina. Who wants to go? The ultimate summer camp for awakened women. Can I go? But do I have to take off my clothes and get a picture taken? I mean, listen to this mess. We gathered in Sisters Village for sacred story and song, welcomed new life and spontaneous mother blessings, shared firelight and ancestral wisdom. Let me tell you something. This dummy that started this whole free birth thing, she had never even had a baby. Don't do it. Hippies aren't idiots. This is basically seems like a cult. Like people are texting her like, the baby, I've been in labor, I'm 44 weeks pregnant and I've done this and I've done that. And they're like, oh, you're fine. You need to let the baby decide when it wants to breathe. What? I mean, what in the ever loving, you know what? I mean, it is horrifying. And the woman makes a killing on it. Killing. What does the free birth do for you? They're saying that birth is natural. Birth is natural. There's a reason women used to die like by 40. And I think that the natural conversation is kind of a popular one. It's like if we pretend everything is natural, like natural is better. Vaccines cause autism. Natural immunity is better. Um, you have cancer. Drink special potion. Natural is better. Have a natural birth with a doula. Yeah, I agree. When you know better, we do better. Uh, it there is this tendency though to think, well, natural is better. Um, I think that God created doctors. And I think, like, think if you have diabetes, like people were dying of diabetes when the whole insulin thing came up. And it was like, wow. It was just, you know, amazing. So in my right mind, I can't imagine being like, we don't use insulin. What? It's very strange. The other topic tonight that I think is important, even though it's late on a Saturday night, is sextortion. But I thought, maybe late on a Saturday night isn't a bad time to talk about it. And I'm particularly talking to parents of children. Sextortion victims tend to be teenage boys between the ages of about 13 and 18, 14 to 17. And what it is, we're going to talk about what it is, and we're going to talk about what you as a parent can do. And I have done this with my boys, but I'm going to do it again. Dozens of children have taken their own lives as a result of sextortion. So what happens with sextortion is your child has social media, that's open. So this is really important. If your child has social media, make sure that no one, only friends can message them. So what happens, like with Instagram, you have to put in your settings or anybody can message you. And so it'll be look like, oh, this pretty 17-year-old girl is messaging me, and she's friends with somebody I know, even though she's not a real person. Um, Two of my boys got caught up in this as older teens. I'm grateful they came to me. Oh boy, Laura, I'm glad they did too. So that's the key. So we'll get to that. But make sure they have it where people can't send them messages as strangers. And so they're going to talk about, they kind of build this relationship, and all of a sudden it's like, send me a pic of your privates. And the boy, because maybe she sends a picture first and they send the picture. And then right away it switches. A lot of this is happening from Nigeria. And it's like, you've got to send us money. If you don't send money, we're going to send these pictures to everybody you know. And so Laura's saying it happened to her children on Snapchat. Um, yes, just happened in West Virginia. I know, he was 15 and only child. Only child. So within, um, hold on, let me find it. So these boys, I think this one boy, it was about 3 hours from the beginning to the end. So the FBI has it on their website. Evidently, the FBI's website is still good. Sextortion, the FBI has seen a huge increase in the number of cases involving children and teens being threatened and coerced into sending explicit images online. A crime called sextortion can start on any app, site, messaging platform, or game where people meet and communicate. The first contact from the criminal might be a threat. They might claim that they already have a picture or a video of you that will be shared. But more often than not, the crime starts when young people believe they're communicating with another young person and who's interested in a relationship or somebody who's offering something of value. And then they get a video or a picture and they threaten to publish the content, threaten violence, get the victim to produce more images. And so this dad, Brandon Guffey in South Carolina, he's a legislator, he said, don't ever send a picture, but if you do, never have your face in it. But now what we're seeing with AI is that they can take your picture and make it look like you've done something, right? So the most important thing that you can get across to your children is there is nothing worth taking your life over. If anything, if you get messages, if you made a mistake, it's kind of like paying for somebody's Uber. We ain't going to worry about that. I can help you. This is all pretend. This is not real. This is not real. The increasing threat has resulted in an alarming number of deaths by suicide. The people who commit this crime have studied how to reach and target children and teens. One person the FBI put in prison for this crime was a man in his 40s who worked as a youth minister so he could learn how teens talk to each other. Then he created social media profiles where he pretended to be a teenage girl. She would start talking to boys and encourage them to make videos. How do you know who can be trusted online? Be extremely cautious when you're communicating. It's easy to think, I'm on my phone in my own house, what could happen? And I think that's something we can talk to our children about. You know, we can say, like, it's easy to feel like this is safe, but you can quickly give a criminal the information and material he or needs to do you harm. The criminals are vicious. They will send hundreds of messages, and then the victims feel scared and anxious. We're talking about sextortion. And people are embarrassed, and they feel like there's no way out. There's no way out. So be selective. Tell your children, be selective about what you share online. If you have your social media accounts open, a predator really can figure out a lot of information about you. Be wary of anyone you encounter online for the first time. Be aware that people can pretend to be anything or anyone online. Videos and photos are not proof. Sometimes they'll steal photos. Sometimes they'll take over other people's social media accounts. Any content you create online, text, photo, video, can be made public. Snapchat, you know, oh, it disappears. Not necessarily. I think parents struggle to understand this. But I think um, the research has been done that their children as young as 8, it happens to girls and boys, all ethnic, socioeconomic groups. Um, the only common trait among victims is internet access. Um, that's it. So I think the most important thing is having your children know that they can talk to you and come to you for help always. Your first move will always be to help them. And the predators are powerful because of this like fear, um, but you want your child to come to you. Um, I mean, this FBI website is really good, and we're gonna look at the comments. How do I talk to my kids about sextortion? This is FBI.gov. When you're online, has anyone you don't know ever tried to contact or talk to you? What did you do, or what would you do if that happened? Why do you think someone would want to reach a kid online? You know, it's easy to pretend to be someone you're not, and not every person is a good person. Has anyone you know ever sent a picture of themselves that got passed around at school? What's possible anytime you send someone a picture? What if the picture were embarrassing? Can you think about how somebody could use that picture against a person? Um, I read an article today about kids being pressured to send images. Have you ever heard about anything like that? If you ever feel like something is going on that feels wrong or over your head, my first concern is always going to be to help you. Always to help you. I've never heard of this. Thanks for teaching me. Oh, I tell you what, um, it's a really good resource. So most recently, I was finding this family. There was, I mean, look at all these things. May 12th, 2025, sextortion scam linked to California teen suicide leads to 4 arrests in West Africa. May 31st, 2025, a teenager died after being blackmailed with AI generated nudes. AI generated. Ohio teen James Wood got his driver's license, took a senior photo, blackmailed online, cost him his life. Eli Heacock, 16-year-old Kentucky teenager, took his own life with a gun. His dad said Eli was on a good track. We had no reason to believe that there was an issue at all. We knew nothing about sextortion or how it works. In his son's case, the offender made AI generated images of Eli, sent them to the teenager, and demanded $3,000 or the pictures would be released or his family would be harmed. Her son, in the text messages she saw, her son sent a portion of the money to the offender, which the anonymous user said this is not enough. His twin sister found her brother's body and said Eli was hurt. She said, how can your lives change that fast over $3,000 that someone wanted off the internet from a kid? I play a lot of what if I had done this? What if I had done that? We don't need anybody to add to our guilt because we carry it very heavily right now. Um, 2023 alone, there were 26,000 reports of financial sextortion. Shannon Heacock urges parents to check their children's phones at all times because, in her experience, even the happiest child is hiding something. It's no longer to be scared of the white van that drives around. You have to be scared of the internet. But I don't think checking phones is, I don't think it hurts, obviously, but I think it can happen so quickly that you could have checked the phone at lunch and after school, between after school and dinner, something can happen, you know? I was trying to find this other one. Bryce Tate was the most recent. And the FBI is West Virginia, 15-year-old. And he, at 4:30, this was November 6th, so this was 2 weeks ago. Only child. Like that. I lost a brother, and I think about how not that I'm some great treat, but like my parents, they stayed parents. They've had grandchildren. Their life kept going. Where when you lose an only child, it's your whole future is sucked away, right? They can target girls, but boys seem to be ages between 13 and 18, 14 and 17, the most at risk. So Tate was contacted November 6th at 4:37 p.m. Very first time he's heard from this person. No, then it doesn't tell the rest of it. He had killed himself, taken his own life by 7:10 p.m. So at 4:37 p.m., he got a message from somebody he had never heard from, and at 7:10 p.m., his parents had called 911. So for 15 years, they had loved and done everything for this child. And in 2.5 hours, he thought his life was no longer worth it anymore. 15. Targeted in an online sextortion scheme. Are you reading this from the FBI website? Well, I'm reading this. I'm reading some news articles now, but initially the things I was reading were from the FBI website. Yeah, I thought they were really, the FBI website, I had no idea. Maybe I could get an FBI person to come on. I had no idea that was done. It's really nice. Are they catching the criminals? You know, they have caught some criminals, but like for everyone they catch, there's probably 1,000 that they don't. So I don't think it really, I don't think it probably really makes much of a matter. Boy. Yeah, I mean, it's just in July, a mom and her husband and her son. And now there's no son. And I think to help these parents, we can just say, you know what, like, we're going to share this story. Our only child, our only son, Bryce's tragic story. I love you, Bryce. Justin for Bryce. This has been picked up by the FBI. Thank you, Lord. Forever 15. You know, nobody should have to put their child in a box, you know. I mean, they just shouldn't. So November 9th, she wrote this. On Thursday evening, this is 3 days after he died. On Thursday evening, November 6th, a seemingly normal evening, our 15-year-old son, Bryce Tate, passed away suddenly between 7:17 and 7:28 p.m. while I was in the bath and his dad was at work. I don't understand. He was so loved every day. So at this point, they didn't know about the sextortion. Yeah, they didn't know. The internet is an ocean full of sharks. Well, if we can just save one child, you know, if everybody here says, you know what, I'm going to share this video, or I'm going to go and I'm a teacher and I'm going to talk to my students, or I'm a parent, or I can say it to kids are in my house, you know, like, hey, FYI. It's really important. Yes, gun access certainly makes it easier. That is true. I mean, gun access makes it easier, yes. But there are other ways. Is this a member-only video? No, it's not. It's not. Um, Bryce's father, Adam Tate, told the news that detectives searched his son's phone and determined he had been the target of an online sextortion scheme. And it happened quickly. Less than 3 hours had passed from the first text he received that after school that day until the time he took his own life. Detectives said someone claiming to be a 17-year-old girl texted Bryce while he was at the gym. First text came in at 4:37. It continued until he took his life 2.5 hours later. Once they strike up the conversation and entice the male to send them pictures, that's when they inform them that they're going to start extorting them for money or even more pictures to be sent. And if they don't comply, they will release those to the public. Mainly, they'll go onto their social media accounts and gather their friends list, and that's who they tell them they're going to release it to. So once you feel like the world's going to know what's going to happen and you feel like you have another way to turn, that's why a lot of kids in this country end up taking their own life. Amanda and Adam went public and want every parent to talk with their kids about something the Tate family had never heard of until Bryce's death. Despite their own heartbreak and grief, Bryce's family hopes to spare another family from similar pain and bring those responsible to justice. In a family as tightly knit as ours, we had open communication, and Bryce knew he could confide in us about absolutely anything without judgment, said Adam Tate. It's a testament to the insidious power of these predators that they could shatter that bond so quickly. These cowards operating from the shadows exploit vulnerability with ruthless efficiency. They bombard victims with relentless threats, isolation tactics, and fabricated shame, convincing them in a matter of hours that their world is irreparably destroyed and that reaching out would only amplify the ruin. This isn't just manipulation, it's a calculated assault on the innocent, preying on trust and fear to drive permanent, devastating decisions before loved ones can intervene. I consider it to be the murder of my innocent son. Wow. Yeah, and I mean, the people themselves that are doing this are, you know, likely teenagers. They could be teenagers in Nigeria, you know? I mean, I think we're not going to be able to stop all of them, but we can talk to our kids. And even these parents said they'd never talked about sextortion, but they had a good line of communication. I tell you what, I've got these emails that said, like, have you ever gotten these emails where they're like, we saw what you did at night when you thought everybody was asleep? Your blinds were open. We saw you watching porn. And I know it's not true. So I can be like, well, that's a scammer. But what if you had been doing that? You know, I could see that you'd be like, ooh, oh my God, they're going to tell everybody I know. And it used to be like, hi, I'm from Nigeria and you've won a $50 million. Send me 1,000. Well, they're getting smarter. Like, well, why go after adults when we can go after children? Well, 30 years ago, they didn't have access to children. You know, email, it used to be email. Well, how do you get somebody's email? Now children are available to them. I have 3 teenagers, you know. Though my almost 20-year-old, I guess, isn't going to be a teenager for too long. He thinks he's far wiser than I am. So there's that. But yes, educate, educate, educate. How do we get, you know, people, social media can not be great, but the good thing about social media is that it can bring people together and it can help share valuable information. Though you could argue, well, if there was no social media, then this wouldn't be happening. That's also true. But I mean, that's like saying if there were no cars, there would be no drunk driving via car. But, you know, we're going to have cars. Just working through this argument in my own brain. Let's see. Tomorrow is Sunday. I guess we'll have Member Tales Church tomorrow. Am I going to go to real church? I don't know. I don't know if I am or not. I'm sort of just worn out. I'm worn out of arguing with Amos about leaving the house. And I need to clean up this pit. And I want to decorate for Christmas, but I don't because then I'll have to dust. These are not real problems. You do not know true grief until you lose a child. You just think you do. Well, I would agree with you. I feel like that losing my brother. Ooh. My closest genetic tie in the whole world. Never have another one that close as your sibling. You know? So anyway, we'll do that tomorrow morning. Everybody is Amos scared? I do not think so. We had a fire in our house a few weeks ago, and I think it was traumatic. And I think that autism is tricky, and I don't think anything is happening. I don't think school is dangerous. I think his anxiety is ramped up. We're going to make an adjustment to his medicine starting tomorrow a little bit to see if we can just bring him down a notch. So, you know, we're working on it. We're working on it. Oh, hey, Here's my cat. This is my giant big cat, Tiptoe. So anyway, see y'all tomorrow morning, probably 10ish. Then I can still go to church after if I want to. Great talk. Good. Yeah. Members, subscribers, see you tomorrow. Tiptoe is the best name for a cat I've ever heard. My daughter named Tiptoe. Hi. Thanks for tuning in. And please remember to talk to your kids about sextortion.